It's Saturday, May 12th, 2012. It's about 5:30 in the morning. I'm not out in the woods this morning. I was too tired last night. But what I am going to go out and do here is go out to Deer Creek. They just stocked it yesterday. So hopefully I can go out and catch a ton of trout. Now that I'm back home, I brought a cooler with me. I'm going to actually keep a limit of trout. I've only kept 2 trout this whole year. One of them was that palomino I caught, and the other one was that huge rainbow that I'm getting mounted. So now I'll try to fill the freezer a little bit, get some food. I'd like to give a shout out to my buddy Tony right now. He's at home sleeping, but don't worry, buddy. I'll come back and get you after I get my limit. Maybe you'll be awake by then. Well, I'm wondering if maybe somebody was out here last night, because I've been here for about a half hour. Supposedly they stocked it yesterday, and this is my first trout of the day. I actually just hooked up to him while I was talking. But stuff's not very encouraging for the day after a stocking. Only having one hit and then catching this one trout. I don't even know if he's worth keeping. He's pretty small. Little rainbow trout. Well, I hooked up again on a salmon egg. Decent sized rainbow trout. Second fish of the morning. Get him on the stringer. So here's my third trout of the day, another rainbow. This one's not a bad sized fish. Decent sized fish. I was pretty mad just before here a second ago. I had a really nice rainbow come off. I hooked him. He flopped around for a little bit and then spat the hook out. So get this one on the stringer and get back in here and see if I can get that big one. Alright, here's my fourth fish of the day. Looks like yet another rainbow trout. Not a bad sized fish. Good eating size. Get him on the stringer here. Well, I just hooked up to another rainbow. Got him on my stringer. That's my 5th trout of the day. That would have been a limit, but all my fish are still alive, so I let my smallest one go. I'm going to go back and see if I can get one that's a little bit bigger, a little better eating size. And just as a side note, whenever I'm out for like a whole day of fishing and I'm keeping a trout, what I'll always do is I'll only ever keep 4 until the last possible second, until I know I'm leaving. That way, when I'm just catching and releasing, in case one swallows the hook or it gets injured and it's pretty much going to die, I can make sure that I can put it on my stringer and take it home with me anyway. And also, that way if you hook into a big trout, you know, you can keep it. So, fishing the stretch of Deer Creek now, down in Allegheny County. Hopefully I'll get my next one within the next couple casts so I can go home and get back to bed. Looked up again, another rainbow trout. This one looks like it's a decent size. Yep, that's decent eating size. So that's probably going to do it for me today. I'll go back up, get it on the stringer, and get out of here. So, a pretty fun day today. I got my limit. Fished for about an hour and a half. Got here before anybody else was here. Hammered some trout. There's other people starting to get here now. But, you know, if you just get out on the creek early, get out before other people want to be up, you know, you'll be able to do good like this. I was fishing a really popular stretch. It's usually packed with people. It's a Saturday, so I expect the later it gets, the more people are going to show up. Alright, so at the request of my buddy Rocky, I'm going to do a real quick how to gut a trout. What you're going to need is obviously some trout and a fillet knife. Just a knife with a long, sharp, skinny blade. You can use a pocket knife, but I honestly prefer a fillet knife because they're so thin, they're flexible, and they make real quick work of getting these trout gutted. So whenever I go to put my trout on the stringer, I make sure that I just have them through the gill plate, not the actual gills themselves, and you'll see why in a second when we go to gut it. So what you want to do when you gut these is start right here, the vent in the back, and you want to stick your knife in very shallowly, just enough to make a cut, and cut all the way up towards the gill plate. So I'll do that here and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Alright, so I just made my cut all the way up, so now what I'm going to do is reach up underneath the gill plate on both sides and just pull to separate the gills from the fish's head. Try to do this one-handed here, hold the camera with the other hand. Alright, so I just did that. So the gills are separated from the rest of the trout, so all you're going to do is put your hand on the gills and pull everything down, and the whole pile of guts will come out. Alright, so we got all the guts out in one nice package. There's this black line along their spine that's dried blood. I think it's from their kidneys or something. You want to just kind of take your thumb and squeeze all that stuff out and finish washing the fish out. Alright, so if you've done this right, you'll have a nice clean trout, no gills. Here in PA, it's the law, you gotta leave the head and tail on until right when you go to cook it, that way in case you get stopped by the Fish and Boat Commission, they can measure the trout and make sure that it's legal. And that's all there is to it. I also believe it's illegal to dump the guts in the creek, so I just throw mine up into the woods. You know, the raccoons or whatever will eat them too. So I'm gonna finish gutting these other 4 trout, and I'm probably gonna head back home, go back to bed.